Yo, 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 you already know what time it is. Welcome back to another episode of Thinker versus Speaker, where I'm Marissa the Thinker, sit down with different guests and we talk about all things, anything, everything. Life, love, relationships, spirituality, literally whatever we want to talk about. So if you're into that kind of thing, definitely strap up, tune in, like, share, subscribe, put other people on to what you're listening to. And you know what I'm saying? Just prepare yourself for a great episode. Now, because we talk about any and everything, you know what I'm saying? We don't know what we're going to talk about before we get into it, and I don't know what's going to trigger people. So if you easily trigger and we say something that you don't necessarily love, go ahead and do what you need to do. Hopefully you come back next week, because we always talk about different things, and you know what I'm saying, we respect what you got to do. But on that note, we gonna hop straight into it. This week I have a new guest, special guest. I have the urban sunflower Shanell White with me today. How are you?
I am well. How are you?
I am good. I am good. I am good. So I stumbled across you on my Facebook page. Yeah, yeah, I believe it was Facebook page. And it's actually no, I think we interacted first.
Hmm.
I knew that you made content, actually. I think there was
Yes.
a post about content creation. And that's how
Yes.
we
Yes.
started interacting. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. And from there, like I went and I checked you out. Come to find out you got a YouTube page. Do you do more than YouTube as well?
I have a YouTube page. I am on TikTok and Instagram.
Okay,
So,
okay.
yeah, I'm
Um,
kind of branching out to all platforms, just building my audience and creating different content for those different viewers across all platforms.
yeah. That's super exciting. I can't wait to dive more into that. Like you create it's gardening content, correct?
Yes, gardening and homesteading content and a little bit of self-sufficiency.
Okay, yeah. I'm super excited to get into that. It seems like a popular thing going on now when you say.
Yes, yes, especially post COVID because, everyone's tired and fed up. And, we realized during the pandemic that the system that was in place, it failed us. It failed a lot of people, and people are tired. Inflation has hit everybody, and, everything is going up but our paychecks. So I
Wow.
definitely took a leap of faith, and I am going full-fledged into the homesteading and self-sufficiency lifestyle.
Awesome. Okay, so we're gonna dive into all of that in a minute. I'm super excited. You know what you said that it's just like, yeah, let's talk about
Let's
it.
get into it.
Especially like the great awakening post COVID. But before we hop into all that, let's get to know a little bit about you. Tell us a little bit about yourself and where you come from and what you do.
Sure. So, my name is Shanell. I am the urban sunflower across most social media platforms. I am a first generation college graduate. I graduated in 2016 with my Bachelor of Science in Nursing, and I obtained my master's in 2018 in nursing education. I'm also a first generation gardener and homesteader. I came into this space last year with zero experience. Like, I didn't even know how to work a drill. So I kind of just been obsessed since then, just learning something new every day about this lifestyle.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's super awesome to hear. And like even like when I hear about like your regular career, just being a nurse, I shouldn't call it regular, but your actual career.
Yeah.
Of being a nurse, like of course, like that leads me down. It's just like that's so interesting. I don't think we ever actually talked to a nurse on this show.
Oh.
Yeah, no, we haven't. We haven't covered that ground yet. So you know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna stay focused today, but you know what I'm saying? That would be something that I would be very curious to learn more about as
Oh,
well.
for sure. For
Yeah,
sure.
especially just in the last couple of years, like just learning more and just, you know, how the pandemic has impacted nurses and just that career field in general. Cause I think there might be a lot to that career field that, you know, people don't necessarily realize that goes on in that day-to-day work.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot that goes into that. And if honestly, if you're not working, frontline in healthcare, you really don't know. I honestly, if I shadowed a nurse long enough earlier in my college days, I probably would have switched my track.
Really?
Yes, nursing is definitely it's a great career choice. I definitely love serving the population that I serve. I definitely love educating people about health and wellness. But just stepping into certain areas of nursing will really challenge your mental health.
Mm,
Yeah, because we also, we have to sacrifice our own mental health, to save lives, you know. So um it's definitely a great and rewarding career, but there are a lot of things that go on in nursing where I wish a lot of people will look into before they hop into the field, we see, we see all the, I call them the Instagram nurses, to where, they got the bags and the lifestyle, the nice cars and stuff like that. But man, do you know how many shifts you have to work just to live that life? I mean, even if you were a traveler, and travelers, or those contracts slow down in the summertime, you have to put in a lot of work to make that money. A lot.
okay. Okay, so it's kind of like one of those things where it's just like you see the reward, but not the work that goes behind you.
Definitely. Definitely. You'll never get paid what you're worth in this field, ever.
Whew. Now I can believe
Yeah.
that.
Yes, for sure.
I can
For
believe
sure.
that. It kinda almost like, because 'cause I've been in a place where I've just been kinda, like, questioning a lot of things,
Mhm.
especially, like, when it comes to the state of society, and like you said before, it's just like the cost of everything is going up,
Mhm.
and we're not getting paid more, and we are expected to do more for less, it feels like,
Yes.
and it's just like, so nobody gonna say nothing, you know what I'm saying? Nobody gonna say
Yeah.
nothing, and
Yeah, for
you gonna
sure.
struggle? Like, hmm, something about this doesn't seem right, and, like, granted, I guess that's going down a road of politics, but it's just like, come on now, something gotta give eventually, because, like, everything is going up, like,
Yeah. It
everything.
is. It is. And just looking at how everything is going, and I'm not trying to go down into politics. I mean, we're literally working just to give our money away.
Yeah,
That's what's going on. That's essentially what's happening. And the amount of time and that we sacrifice with our family, our friends, and just with ourselves, we have to make that up by working multiple jobs, doing DoorDash, Instacart, and all these other jobs just to get by.
yeah,
And unfortunately, that's not going to change. I tell a lot of people, it's not really about how much you make, it's about how much you can keep, or how you can really make your money work for you
mhm,
you know um so yeah, that's definitely something. And I
yeah.
don't see it going away anytime soon. I see it getting worse.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
true, and I think that's why we're seeing a lot of what it is that we see in, just society or in our environments, right? Where you have a lot of people, well, I'll speak from the terms of people that I'm coming into. There's a lot of people turning towards entrepreneurship, things
Yes.
like you're doing with, you know what I'm saying, homesteading and things like that, buying local and just stuff like that, because I mean, I think with COVID, it forced people to start having to reevaluate a lot of the ways that they operate. And I think people's
Yes.
value systems have just changed tremendously because they've had the time to sit down and really think about these things. And that's why you have a lot more people who are like, I'm going to take the day off. I'm going to take today off because it's not like, you know what I'm saying? I'm already struggling anyway. So
Yeah,
why not
exactly.
just
Yeah,
take
those
the day
mental
off?
health days. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah, I have coworkers that say whether I have PTO or not, I'm taking a day off, because really at this point, does it really matter?
Exactly.
You know, if you think about it, we can die the next day and our job is going to be on Indeed.
Yeah.
So, we only get one life to live, and we have to live it in a way that we want it to, without sacrificing so much just to live. I feel like, we're the only species that have to pay to live on this earth.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. When we have so many resources like at our fingertips, I think yeah, yeah. Which leads me to the gardening part, the gardening aspect, right?
Yeah.
That's a route that a lot of people have turned to, where in a way they've kind of started taking their control back through doing things for themselves that we've relied on, grocery stores and everything like that for. So tell us about your journey. Like, how did you actually wind up getting into gardening? Was it this full picture before, or did it start off smaller than that?
So, I got started in gardening last year, and like most people, I was shopping at grocery stores, regular grocery stores, and I started to realize that the food doesn't taste like how food should taste. Like, I never in my life bit into like a bland tomato until like after COVID. I'm like, how does a tomato not have flavor? Like, where did the flavor go? And so as I started to dig and do more research, I realized, because of the labor shortages and things, that a lot of the fruit has to get picked early, and it's ripening with ethylene gas, and then it's put onto our shelves. So, um, just that whole process, I'm like, huh. So the tomato is $2 and it tastes like nothing.
Mhm.
Like, that was not adding up to me. And
Yeah.
over time, I'm like, I can't keep coming to the store and buying this bad produce. I would have, green peppers that were molded as I cut into them. And I'm like, dude, this pepper was like $1.50. And you have to keep taking it back to the store and you keep complaining and nothing is being done.
Right.
And I just realized, you know what? I'm done. I'm not gonna do this. And I started growing my own food. Like most people, I didn't know where our food came from, because it was never something that like came across my mind. Like, yeah, I know there are farmers, but the pandemic taught me how essential those farmers are. They feed our entire country. So, yeah, just after the pandemic and realizing, our food, it has little to no nutritional value because it is picked early. It led me down this rabbit hole, and I'm like, huh, maybe children don't like fruits and vegetables because it's bland. It tastes like nothing.
Yeah.
So, like, just after doing so much research, things just started adding up. You go to the doctor for your annual physical and they're like, oh, eat your fruits and vegetables. Well, our fruits and vegetables have no nutritional value in them, and I'm still starving after I ate, you know, this salad. Vegetables are supposed to fill you up. Why am I still hungry after this? And yeah, it just sparked from there, and I planted out my first garden. I started with two raised beds and got some transplants from the store and been obsessed ever since.
Ah, okay, cool. That's awesome. Was it expensive to start? I'm sure people would be interested, like if they're curious. Like, is
I'll
it
be honest with you. Gardening is expensive if you want it to be expensive. Okay.
okay.
It's how you want it. If you want the aesthetically pleasing Pinterest garden, yeah, it's gonna cost you a lot of money. But I can tell you right now, I've tasted really good tomatoes that was just grown in straight native soil. So, sometimes, gardening can be extremely affordable.
Mhm.
Sometimes the city, especially here in St. Louis, if you live in St. Louis City, you can get free compost and dirt. Um, then you can grow inside of like grow bags if you live in an apartment. You don't even need access to soil. You can also rent a garden plot for like $25 a month and grow whatever you want in that plot. Um So when it comes to gardening and it being expensive, it's literally, what you make it. Yeah. And seeds, you can get free seeds too. So
Really?
yeah, the libraries, some of the libraries, I'm working with the county libraries to see if we can get a seed library started at some of the locations. But if you go to some local libraries, they have free seeds. It's called a seed bank.
Huh. I didn't know
Yeah.
that. I did not.
Yeah. And yep. And even like on TikTok, like I've participated in several seed exchanges. Those are free. You just pay for postage. If you really need seeds, there's a website called, I think, freeheirloomseeds.com or freeseeds.com. You can get free seeds there as well.
Huh. So the resources are there. It's just a matter of finding them.
Yeah. It's a matter of literally just putting it out there.
That's really good to know. That's interesting. That's stuff that I actually never knew before. So I'm being educated at the same time. That's funny. And then when you think about it too, because I never really put two and two together. I remember as a child, we never went to daycare. My brother and I, we never went to
Mhm,
daycare. Everybody just went to grandma's house. That's the kind of, you
mhm.
know, like that was like the childhood that we had where all the cousins and stuff in the summertime were over at grandma's house.
Yeah.
And she would put us to work, right? And
Mhm.
my grandma lived in the hood now. She just had this like little plot of just dirt
Mhm.
like the size of my desk. And you know what I'm saying? She was making all kinds of stuff. She was growing tomatoes, bell peppers, like she would grow greens and stuff like that. And it's just like I never thought about it before and it wasn't difficult. You know,
Yeah.
it wasn't a bunch of fancy tools or anything like that. She had us with like the hand hedge trimmers, you know, we had a
Mhm.
whole and that was about it. Like, you know, she was growing food. So I guess when you think about it, it's just like it doesn't have to be hard. You can do it with what you have. It's just a matter of doing it and sticking to
Yeah. 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 And on TikTok, if you ever follow the hashtag Unity Garden and the Unity Garden community, there are so many different gardeners. We have people gardening in apartments, grow bags, grow tents in their basement. People with no land, little land, garden plots. Like you can garden for the low and virtually free. You just have to want to do it and take that control.
nice. That's awesome. So what kind of food do you grow? Or what kind of well, I should is it just food or more than food?
Oh man, I grow mostly edibles and I am growing some medicinals. I grow medicinal wise, I am growing mullein. Mullein is an excellent herb for the respiratory system. And after I was diagnosed with COVID for the second time, that was the only herb that helped me feel better. Like it was amazing. And ever since then, I've been hooked. Like my house, I have to have mullein on hand. And I learned about it from TikTok and the Unity Garden community. There are gardeners on there their thing is uh, medicinal herbs.
Yeah.
So when I found out about it, I went to the herb store and I got it. And when I got sick, hey, I felt better literally in a day just from taking it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm starting to I keep hearing stories about like just the power of like herbs and eating the right things and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Now, granted, it's not the same, but it's kind of similar. I have another guest that comes on here often. His name is Dre, and he's
Mhm.
actually owner of a cannabis company. And
Oh, wow.
yeah, the reason that he actually got into it was because he had well, this isn't necessarily the reason, right? But before he was overweight, he had
Mhm.
diabetes and neuropathy, and he was taking the medicines and all of that kind of stuff, but he still wasn't feeling better.
Mhm.
So he changed his diet, you know, and well, he used cannabis. So he changed his
Mhm.
diet. used cannabis and just was very conscious of the things that he was consuming. So a lot more fruits and vegetables and things like that, using a lot more herbs. So it wasn't just cannabis, it was stuff like you're talking about,
Mhm.
elderberry and all of those kind of things that you hear people talk about. And he got rid of the neuropathy and the diabetes just through those
Wow.
natural methods.
Yeah,
And,
that's
and
amazing.
yeah, right. It's incredible. And it's just like, I think sometimes we don't understand or we take for granted the power that the food, or not the power, but the correlation between the foods that we eat,
Mhm.
the way that our body feels, and the way that our bodies react to it.
Yeah, yeah. I agree. I mean, it's almost taboo if we do take control of our own health.
Mhm.
You know, we are so accustomed to going to the doctor when we don't feel well just to get some pills that only suppress the symptoms. We never really get to the root of the problem. And the root of the problem is in our diet, the standard American diet. I mean, it's literally marked. It's nothing but chemicals. It's not even natural food at this point. Um, and just the way things are going. I talked about how food is being picked underripe. I'm sure you've seen studies and all of these new lab grown meats that are getting ready to roll out. And then we have, GMO foods. Those things are going to be the new norm. And I don't think it's natural to, consume something that has been altered or modified. Um, and it makes you think like, how would our bodies react to that?
Mhm.
Are we going to get to a point to where we're not even consuming real food anymore? I mean, we're there, but is this going to be the new norm? Seedless fruit. And it makes you think about it like, man, where's this thing going? And do
Right.
we go forward or do we go back to nature? Do we go back to being outside and taking those breaks, from being indoors and just going to sunbathe or anything like that? It really makes you think about it. Which way are you going? You know?
Exactly. And I think it's important to have conversations like these because I think when you really start to think about it, right? Because if you're just going throughout the world, you're not thinking about this kind of thing, like you're not paying attention to that kind of stuff. Like you don't think about the fact that there's pesticides on your fruits and your vegetables. You know what I'm saying? You might just like take the sticker off, rinse it off in water, and you eat it.
Yeah.
Like we're not thinking about these types of things, and it's just like, where you think about the meats even before they were genetically modified, you know what I'm saying, they have hormones and
Yeah.
antibiotics and all of these other kind of things, and,
Yeah.
and we consume that,
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
we, we consume that, and there we don't have that level of control of knowing what got put into your food, onto your food before you got it.
Exactly. Exactly. And even with all of those antibiotics and hormones that were injected into the animals, that cross over into us.
Mhm.
So, with that crossing over to us, does that make us less resistant to, viruses and diseases? Is
Right.
that the reason why we keep getting sick so easily? Is that the reason why our mental health is all over the place? Are we really bipolar, or are we needing nutrient dense food? Are we needing real food? Because your gut and your brain, that's all one thing. They all signal and communicate with each other. So it makes you think like, hey, if I keep eating, all of this bad and processed food that's not feeding me, it's not going to stimulate me either. So it's going to make me feel more depressed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a concept, right? Where
Mhm.
um I drank milk my whole life until I moved out on my own and I started drinking almond milk. And now my body is just like, no, we don't do that.
Right.
My body is like, no, we don't do that. And it makes you think, it's just like, well, if my body is saying no to this, if it was really good for me, then would it reject that?
Exactly. Exactly. It makes you think about it.
Yeah. Yeah, just kind of just like, all right, what is going into my bodies? And then I want to go back to something that it is that you kind of touched on too, like where you go to the grocery store and you see these foods. Because I remember when I lived in St. Louis, I had to be picky about where I got my produce from.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so call it what you want. My friends would call me bougie, but I was a Dear Birds type of girl. Getting my fruits
Me
and my
too.
you know
Yes, me
what I mean?
too.
You know what I mean. You know what I
Yes,
mean? Because you just can't go anywhere. Where we came from, you can't go anywhere and get fruits and vegetables because those fruits and vegetables will be looking a little questionable.
exactly. Yes, I agree. I
And
agree.
and it's something, you know what I'm saying, also that I didn't think about. Cause like here, now that I've come here, and granted, I don't know if it's the environment, if it's the area that I live in, or you know, just the times that we're living in now. I'm not sure. But I can go to the grocery store and the organic section is going crazy. And the fruits and the vegetables look edible, you know?
Yeah.
And it's just like, hold on, wait, is there something to that?
It really makes you think about it, you know? Lately, my when my garden is not in season, I've been obsessed with the farmer's market because I, wanna know where my food is coming from and how it's grown. And, most of the time, I'm able to find everything I need at the farmer's market. Some people think when you go to a farmer's market, it's going to be more. It's actually a lot cheaper. There are farm stands that has a pay as you go option or pay what you can option. I'm sorry. And it's organic. If you only have $5 and you need to feed your family and you need a bag of groceries, you can pay $5 for that bag of produce and groceries.
And what kind of farmers markets are those? Because the only one I remember, I'm not gonna lie to you, is Soulard. But
So,
that's my parents took us there on a regular basis. But
oh,
like,
yes, Soulard has changed, it has changed. I also grew up going to Soulard, but, now because farmers markets are starting to open up a little bit more, especially in some of the, food deserts, out here in North County. Ferguson Farmers Market is one of them, and then there's another one in Spanish Lake.
huh,
Rustic Roots Sanctuary. Her farmers market has opened up as well for the people in that area.
yo, that I'm happy to hear that. It's like
Yes.
the Spanish Lake one, it's just like, my heart grew a little bit because that, you know what I'm saying, in that area, I know, like, there's no grocery stores really. Like,
No.
no, like, there's not, you know, and it's just like those areas, like, it is a food desert,
It
actually.
is. It is. The only grocery store I think that's out there is Family Dollar, and they have no produce. So, yes, she is there, and I'm thankful for her being there and serving that population out there because they need one. And there are a ton, like, they're opening up slowly. There are some local growers, gardeners here in St. Louis as well, and they'll give away free produce, in different spots where there are food deserts, and people will line up. You can take what you need, and it's free.
Hmm,
So, people lots of people are starting to open up their eyes and be more aware that, there are populations here that doesn't have access to organic food or fresh food at that, that isn't laced and sprayed with pesticides.
yeah,
That's the big thing. Make sure it's not, sprayed so heavy to where, you can't eat it. But yeah, I am thankful for those local growers that do serve those vulnerable populations.
yeah, that's awesome. That's so awesome to know that that resource is out there. So let's talk about the food deserts a little bit. Would you
Mhm.
mind explaining to somebody who has never heard of this concept before what a food desert is and why it's important to know about what it is?
So, in a sense, a food desert is basically an area that there's not a single grocery store that serves fresh food within a mile of that person's home or location. Okay. You might have, this is very popular, a convenience store. A convenience store and a grocery store is two totally different things. And convenience stores just junk food, gas station food, stuff you can just go there, grab real quick and eat. 10 times out of 10, it's not healthy. So if they do have bananas or oranges or something there, there's a bunch of fruit flies flying around it. That is not access to fresh, healthy food. Um, so in a sense, that's what a food desert is. If you don't have a grocery store within a mile of your location, you're in a food desert. I don't know if you were in St. Louis the year that Shop and Save closed.
I had just moved. I heard about it though.
Yes,
The thing, yeah.
Shop and Save was a really they were located in very vulnerable areas. Very good grocery store. They had access to fresh food. You can go in there, it was clean, you can get whatever you needed. And when they closed, another grocery store was supposed to purchase those locations. Well, what ended up happening is they found out where those locations were and they did not open. So it left me I was affected by that, um, and other people in this area of North County and Jennings without a grocery store.
Hmm.
Yeah.
It makes me wonder if it's the same one because I remember there was actually a Shop and Save right by my house, and
Hmm.
it was on 367. That was the one that I would go to, and I remember when it opened. See, in the summer times, my brother and I would be at home, and my dad would leave us like $10, $20, right?
Hmm.
And that would be how we ate that day, right? So we would walk
Right.
up to the grocery store and get whatever it was, you know what I'm saying, that we were gonna eat that day. You know,
Hmm.
sometimes we go to Subway, sometimes we go up to the gas station, but literally, if we wanted food, it was in walking distance.
Yeah.
You know, that was the way that we ate. So to think that that's not even an option for people, you know, and it even getting food in St. Louis was already hard enough, like getting your basic necessities, I'll say, right?
Yeah.
Because a common concept for the St. Louisans out there, shout out to y'all, is like, especially if you live in North County, right? It's just like, well, if
Hmm.
I want to go to Walmart, I'm not gonna go to that one, and I'm not gonna go to that one.
Hmm.
Know what that one and that one are. So I'm not gonna go to those two. So I'm gonna go all the way out here. So I'm gonna go all the way out to Granite City. I'm gonna go all the way out to Chesterfield. I'm gonna go all the,
Hmm.
you know what I'm saying? Or I'm gonna go further and further and further out because you know that's where you're gonna get the good groceries. That's
Yep.
where you know you're gonna get the better service. That's where you know you're gonna get what it is that you need. And you've had to drive like 20, 30 minutes to get it. And
Yeah.
that was a common thing, but even for people that don't have access where they can't just drive 20, 30 minutes, it's just like, well, what do you have?
Yeah. Yeah. And unfortunately for those populations, they have no way, especially if they're on a bus line.
Mhm.
Don't be on a bus line and you have a bunch of groceries or trying to get groceries. Uber is out of the question because that's just way too expensive, you know? But that is the norm. And when Shop and Save closed, that became my reality. I do have to travel 30 minutes to get quality food and good service. That goes for whether I want to just have a really nice dinner and eat out. That goes for if I want to shop and not have to cut into food that's already molded. That goes for any type of experience that I want to have. I have to travel in order to get access to that.
Mm, yeah. And okay, so a random question popped in my mind. I hope you don't
Mhm.
mind. Because like think of things, right? It also leads me to a supply and demand type of question. And of course, like we have some people now. Now this might tap more into your actual career
Mhm.
background, but like when you think about the foods that we eat as a community, like in the Black community and things like that, I
Mhm.
wonder if part of that reason why we don't have certain things in those areas is because are we eating the way that we should be eating? Even if we had access to it, are we eating the way that we should be eating?
That is a very good question. And in the Black community, no, we're not eating the way we should be eating. Um, we we would have, I mean, you've been on Lindbergh. I think there's a total of 6 fried chicken joints on Lindbergh. 6.
Yeah.
And there is maybe one affordable grocery store on Lindbergh, and that would probably be Aldi's. Uh, we don't eat the way we're supposed to. So they keep opening all of these fast food joints and all of these unhealthy options because if you think about the Black community and what we deal with, right?
Mhm.
We have single parents, right? Who has
Right.
to work probably multiple jobs, long hours. The last thing that family or mom or dad wants to do is to come home and cook. So they're going to stop and get some food for their family, convenience food, just to put food on the table. So, in a sense, from America's point of view, they're going to put those stores and those food places in those areas where they know they can make the most money off of us. I mean,
Mhm.
it is what it is. That's why there's only one affordable grocery store on Lindbergh and not 3, considering the size of North County and how many communities shop on Lindbergh and eat on Lindbergh. I mean, how many McDonald's are on Lindbergh? I think there's like about 3 of them. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that's
about 3 of
crazy.
them. Yeah,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, 3 McDonald's, 2 Panda Expresses, but we can't get, for example, a Trader Joe's.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? We
Mhm.
can't get that.
Mhm.
Um, we can't get a Walmart with fresh food, you know?
Yeah.
We can't get those services out here, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And because yeah, our health habits are, tailored towards convenience foods because in our households we are the providers. We have to provide. And that is a priority,
Right.
you
Right.
know.
It's
Yeah.
almost like we're trading our health for the sake of convenience.
Yeah.
And and it's only well, I'm not going to say it just seems convenient, but
Mhm.
if we take the time to think about this a little bit more, because it was something that I actually realized when I started living on my own. I realized it was cheaper for me to go to the grocery store than to eat out.
Yes.
Even though buying a bunch of groceries, buying 2 weeks worth of groceries seems expensive, it's cheaper than spending $10 twice a day for lunch and dinner, you know,
Mhm.
for the course of 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? It
Yeah.
just cheaper. And even though it seems like it will be more work, in reality, there are more health benefits and just financial benefits to actually, taking that into your own hands and then taking it a step further into actually growing your own food. But it's almost like we fall for the illusion of convenience,
Yes.
but it really is affecting our health in our pocket.
Yes. Instant gratification will destroy your health.
Mm,
Instant gratification will destroy your health.
we're gonna have to
And
scrap that.
yeah. um and until the Black community understands that we will continue to fail in a system that was not designed for us. Um, yes, it is easy getting off of work, getting in that drive-through, but do you know that same amount of time you sit in a drive-through dealing with the bad customer service, cold food, and food that has no nutrition, you can spend that same amount of energy and time by meal prepping, right? Now, I'll be honest with you, I don't like leftovers, and I know a lot of people that don't like leftovers. Meal prepping isn't always cooking your food ahead of time and putting it in a microwave. Meal prepping could be, hey, this week we're going to have hamburgers and salad. The next day we might have, I don't know, pasta or something like that. Why not gather up all those ingredients and prep them ahead of time and then just quickly cook them on that day? I mean, it takes what, if you want to have a hamburger, about 10 or 15 minutes to prep all of that? Well, what if you took your ground beef, you kept in the refrigerator, and you season up everything already, get your patties made and ready, and all you have to do is take them out and put them in your pan, flip them, put them on some buns, and serve it.
Right.
That same amount of energy and time is the same amount of time that you'll spend in a drive-through.
Right.
You know, it's just a matter of looking at how we can set ourselves up to be successful, have good health, and still have the option of convenience.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. And what you eat is gonna directly correlate to how you feel too.
yeah,
In your body. You know what I'm saying? It's the reason why you can go to McDonald's and feel heavy when you get done eating it. Take
yeah,
it as the feeling of being full, like, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
No.
exactly.
Like, no, I don't think that's necessarily being full. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, but really when you eat, you shouldn't feel like I don't want to move.
No, that is not normal. Having the itis after eating is not normal.
You should
Okay.
actually have energy to get,
Yes,
yeah,
food is energy, like for sure. And you can only get food from ripened, fresh food. You cannot get that from produce that is ripened with ethylene gas. Like you
mm,
have to have access to that fresh food in order to get those micronutrients and energy from it.
yeah,
For
yeah.
sure.
For sure, for sure. Like
Yeah.
it, like I didn't realize the health benefits, but I always knew it was a difference between fresh broccoli and real broccoli when you cook it. I mean, fresh broccoli and
Yeah.
frozen broccoli when you cook it.
Yes.
It doesn't
Big
taste
difference.
the same. It doesn't, you know what I'm saying? You can tell, like, you know what I'm saying? If you make that broccoli, you gonna see all the nutrients in that water at the
Yes.
bottom, at the bottom, at the bottom. That's where those
Exactly.
nutrients are. You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely a difference, and I think that's something that we don't always, consider because yes, when you finish eating, you should feel energized. That food that you're eating should make you feel better, not worse. And you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Eat these burgers, we'll eat that fried chicken, we'll do that, and then we'll feel tired and sluggish, and that's the reason why, oh, I don't want to cook today. Oh, I don't want to do this.
Exactly.
Like,
Or
oh,
we need something sweet.
yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that fruit has that sugar that you need. You know
It
what I'm
does.
that those vegetables have that energy that you need to get through the day. You know what I'm saying? It's all about what we
Mhm.
consume. It's a direct correlation. All of that fried food, all of that fast food, processed food, like it's not good for us. It's convenient,
Yes.
but it's not good for us. And I'm not saying that I eat perfectly. I don't. But like
Mhm.
you just you when you have to become a little more conscious about these things.
You do. You do. And especially in our community to where we look for instant gratification. You
Mm,
know, people don't want to work hard anymore. You don't understand. We have to have it now. Like, no, we have to have it now. Look at Amazon. Oh, we can give it to you the same day. You know, whether you get it the same day or a week later, whatever that item is, and I've noticed this with myself, I don't even use it. I want it that day, but I'm not even going to use it for like weeks later. Or it might get lost in my house. And when I actually need it, I can't find it. So, I've been working on taking conscious steps away from instant gratification, even when it comes to my own health and wellness. Like, I've been on and off a weight loss journey my entire life. And those quick fad diets and, oh, I got to be vegan to do this, I have to be this, I have to be that. Those are those things that we look at to where we think we need to follow this path in order to get to where we want to go, and when it doesn't happen soon enough, we give up.
right.
you know um and we hear things like, oh, it's a lifestyle journey, it's a lifestyle. If you really think about, if you didn't have to work and money wasn't an issue, what type of lifestyle would you really live?
Right.
you know and we think about these things, but are we actively living that life that we really want?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it goes beyond just, this is what I want and this is what I'm thinking about. We actually have to live that life.
Yes.
And for example, and this is why I started gardening and homesteading and things like that because I don't want to work to pay bills and die. I'm
Yeah.
not set up for this life.
No.
you know, I don't think I'm ever going to meet a rich husband or anything like that. So, consciously, I have to think about, okay, if I could live the life that I want, what does that look like? And that looks like me not having to work every day just to pay a utility bill. So, I take conscious steps towards looking into, solar energy. How can I get my utilities for free? How can I harvest rainwater and, use that, purify that so that I don't have a water bill? And these are things that I think about and why I want to, homestead and go into that self-sufficiency route because these are the things that bother me every day, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. And it's very true. There's a book that I read, and it's a popular book called Atomic Habits. And
Mhm.
I'll paraphrase, but there's a part of the book where it's just like when you want to change something in your life, you have to change the perception of the person that you want to be.
Mhm.
So if you say, for instance, my goal is to start working out every day. Like you have to tell yourself, I'm the person that works out every day. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? It's not because I want to lose X amount of weight. It's
Correct.
the type of lifestyle that I want to adopt. And then start
Exactly.
working towards that lifestyle.
Exactly.
Because exactly like you're saying, like, and I think a lot of people are at this point now where it's just like we're reevaluating. It's that same question. If I could do anything, what would it be? And it definitely isn't this. I'm at that crossroad in my own life where it's just like,
Mhm.
if I was in a different place, what I would do, yeah, that's fine. The work that I do is cool, it's all right, whatever. But in reality, I don't want to work for someone. I don't want to
Yeah.
be told what to do and when to
Yeah.
do and how to do it. That's
Yeah.
not me. I don't want to I don't want to give you 40 hours of my week every week. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Be controlled by you. You know what I'm saying? And you have the power to tell me when and when I can't have a day to myself, or if I just need a minute, I can't have a minute. I don't want to keep giving up my power.
Yeah.
And I don't have to give up my power. And I realized I don't have to give up my power because money is only a means to an end. And like we said it in the beginning of the episode, if I'm already struggling, why do I care? You know what I'm saying? If I'm
Exactly.
struggling,
Yeah.
why do I care about continuing to pursue this for the illusion of what other people say life should be?
Exactly. Exactly. And it makes you think, like, especially with social media, how we look, it's an illusion. We
Mhm.
look at other people's lives and think that's what we want, and deep down it's not.
Mm-mm.
It's not. I've tried so many different ventures in my life, from real estate to entrepreneurship to just all kinds of different stuff, home health and things like that. And I realized that, maybe being an entrepreneur is not for me, and that's okay. And I thought that was something I needed to do because I saw other people doing it. But deep down, I don't want to deal with people every day. I don't want to be responsible. I realize that entrepreneurship is a great thing for people who have the drive and want to work for themselves. You
Yeah.
know, I enjoy working in my garden and feeding myself and my family healthy food. So it's a different form of working for myself because I'm not giving my power over to the grocery stores or over to big pharma, you know so it's definitely, a way we have to look at our life, and we are giving up our power when we are working these jobs, especially dead end jobs where we're not fulfilled.
Mhm. Mhm. And I agree with what you're saying. It's just like this could look different. Taking back your power can look different for everyone.
Yes.
It can look
Yes.
different for anyone and everyone. It's all about taking the time to figure out what's going to work for you and what's going to make you happy.
Exactly. And I'm glad you brought that up because even in gardening, it looks different for everyone. I would love one day to only grow 100% of my own food, but I know in reality that's not practical for me. And so I started sourcing local. I started buying my food different. I started buying food in bulk because I know as a person, I cannot take on all of that. I will, direct that energy towards, something that I love to do. I love growing my own food, but I don't have to take it all on at once. And
Right.
for people who aspire to be gardeners and they're looking at all these beautiful gardens and these harvests and abundance, trust me, behind all of that, there's some garden bed or plot that is somewhere not getting attention. Okay. So, even if you want to start growing your own food, you do not have to take it all in at once. Start with one thing, start with two things, start with what you can. And that's going to eventually grow and lead you down what will work for you and what won't work for you.
Yes. Yes. Fantastic advice. Fantastic advice. And on that note, how did you get into content creation?
So, I started my TikTok page because first I needed to document my journey.
Mhm.
And that's what my TikTok page was for. It was strictly so that I can go back and be like, huh, last year this didn't work well because of X, Y, and Z. That's why I initially started my page. And as I got comfortable with filming and doing different videos and learning how to work the app, I went viral and on Thanksgiving Day last year. And when I say I was terrified, like I was so scared. That
Yeah.
scared me, and I did not know what to do. So I stopped posting like for like 2 weeks. I'm like, there are too many people watching this page. I don't care about this stuff. I'm just doing it for myself. So
Yeah.
that's so that's kind of how I got into content creation. And over time I made so many friends on TikTok. And we help each other out. We give feedback and advice. And it kind of just grew into this whole big thing, this wonderful community.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. And it's funny that you say that because it what I'm learning is that it can just kind of happen that quick. And
Yes.
and I've had moments like that too where a video like I'll post a video and it'd be like, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Wait, what?
Right.
What? Like it's too many people looking like it's a very popular meme of NBA Youngboy, and he's like on live, and he sees how many people are in the live, and he's just like, "Oh no," and shuts it off. How it feels. It's just like,
It
"Oh,
does.
oh no, I know this was what I was asking for, but it's here, and oh no, like, oh no, no." And I would do that. It was just like literally, I'll stop posting. It's just like, terrified. I'm terrified.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, but it's a process. It's a process, and then it's just like you'll be like, okay, that wasn't that bad, and then you go back.
Yes.
Like I don't know, like do you feel like you just genuinely enjoy making content at this point? Because it doesn't even sound like it's for the views. It's just because you wanted to do it.
Um, I definitely don't do it for the views and the likes. I just genuinely love sharing my passion of self-sufficiency, homesteading, and gardening. I just love doing this, and sharing it with the world. um my family, especially my grandma, she really enjoys watching my YouTube videos. So I know if no one else in the world watches my videos, my grandma looks forward to them. And
Yeah,
so she can't come out here and see my garden in person, so that's how she gets to see all the stuff that's going on.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I love that. I love,
Yeah.
I love that. That's how my like uncles were. Like, of course, like my parents watch the videos and stuff like that
Uh-huh.
too. I also have like my uncle. I remember one of my uncles in particular. He would always like in the beginning. I got two uncles that do this, but like in the beginning, it's just like they'd be like, "We see you, don't stop," and I'd be like, "Okay, all right."
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, it's social media is definitely interesting. They have a way of promoting educate no entertainment over education.
Absolutely.
And that's something I kind of keep forefront to where, the truth will always be suppressed. The
Abs-
media and the
yeah.
narrative of the media is controlled by people beyond me. And that's okay because
Yeah.
somebody is going to get this message and someone's going to listen and they're going to be like, you know what? That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
I like that idea. That's really solid advice. And that's enough, even though I'm just posting for myself to, monitor my own journey. But that one person that I might inspire to grow food, that's great. I love that. I love that for them. And I'm gonna cheer them on. I'm gonna pick them up when they don't feel like gardening or doing anything. I am that internet bestie. So
That's real. We need a lot more of those. We need a lot more of those in the world because that's
oh
very
yeah.
that's very true. You know what I'm saying? Like the thing, and I mean that's why I do this podcast. A big reason of why I do this podcast because, like you said, it's the things that gets pushed in media. We already know what it is because we see plenty of it over
Yeah.
and over and over again. And it's just like, when are we gonna see people that are diving a little deeper? And it
Yeah.
happens. It happens. It's out there. People are doing it, but you got to go looking for it almost.
You do. And not only that, you have to also find and follow people that have the same goals and aspirations as you.
Mhm,
I tend to learn best from people that look like me.
mhm.
And that's and this is not a black and white thing. It's just, I don't always have the privilege and access to certain things that my counterparts might have.
Yeah,
So when I'm watching content from them, I can only grasp so much information from them because that might not be something that's accessible to me. And that's also important when, you're on social media, who you follow, what you're listening to. Is this, good information? Is this something that's relevant to me and accessible to me?
yes, 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 like yes. And like, this is kind of like why I keep doing it too, because it's just like we need more people that look like us, that can
Yes.
relate to us, talking about what it is that we're doing so we can
Hmm.
continue to relate to those people because there are a lot of people where they want the information, but it's not connecting
Yes.
because they don't speak the language.
Yes, exactly.
You know?
Exactly. And I want people to know that is totally normal. It's normal to not understand information from people that doesn't look like you. We all have different learning styles. And people African Americans, we learn based off of rhythm. We learn musically. We learned with our hands, tactile, demonstrating, and doing. That's how we learn.
Yeah.
And that's okay. It's not easy for us to open up a book, read a chapter, and comprehend everything that happened in that chapter. And that's normal, with African Americans.
Yeah.
That's just not our typical learning style.
Yeah. And that's okay.
Yeah, it's totally okay. And I feel like a lot of people get intimidated and they instantly say, "Well, I can't do that because I don't have X, Y, and Z." There are 1,000 ways to do one thing. There's 1,000 different ways to garden. There's 1,000 different ways to be self-sufficient. You don't need an acre of land to start growing your own food, and don't let anyone tell you that.
Yeah.
You just don't need it.
Yeah. Yeah, and that relates to any and all aspects of life. You know what I'm saying? And the big
Mhm.
things. It relates to any and all areas of life because, who's to say to anybody listening that your way isn't the way? Nobody can tell you that because no one knows. No one knows
Exactly.
who you are, what you're meant to do, why it's right or why it's wrong. You know? Like nobody
Yeah.
can tell you that. So just, don't limit yourself in what it is that you can do. Like you got that razzle dazzle for a reason.
Exactly.
Like you just do. You just have that razzle dazzle for a reason. Like I had a comment before, and my dad laughs at me as to how I respond to my comments because it's just one, we're from St. Louis, and it's just like people make fun of you as a pastime. So it's not like
Mhm.
easily get offended by some things. And someone was just like, "Oh, you sound ghetto, so I'm not gonna listen to you." And it's just like, sure.
Okay.
But I know like, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, I know I'm fairly intelligent. So that doesn't, you know what I'm saying? That doesn't bother me. And also at the same time, if you're going to judge me based off of how I sound, the content must not be meant for you. And two, like the person that it's meant for is going to connect based off of how I address it. I don't have to
Yeah.
change who I am in order to appease a certain thing because if you understand that who you are is good enough, that's enough.
Exactly. And something else to remember, everyone is not for you. Everyone is not for your content. Everyone, is not cheering you on. And that's okay.
Yeah.
That's totally fine because I do get those comments every now and then. And I used to delete them because I just don't want that energy, surrounding my content. But what I've been doing lately is just responding, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, hit them with the okay. Like, as long as they don't get too disrespectful, hey,
Yeah.
it's fine. Because I also used to redo my TikToks 1,000 times because I didn't like the way I sound, or I sounded too ghetto, or I didn't pronounce this right. And I'm very you know, particular about that. But I stopped. I'm like, people who are for me are going to come to me. My audience is going to come to me, and my audience is not everybody. My content is not for everybody.
Yeah.
It's simply for millennials who are looking for a way out, who want to be more self sufficient, who don't want to depend on the doctors for medicine, who don't want to depend on the grocery stores for food, who want to live a more eco friendly and sustainable lifestyle, to have more freedom to do what they want with their time.
Yeah. Do you
Yeah,
and let your people come to you.
exactly. Exactly.
Like because they will come. That
They
your people
will.
come. You see it all the time. Like you see it. I think Tyler the Creator is the perfect example. How
Mhm.
many people thought that that man was weird back in 2017 when he came out and there was a cockroach crawling on his face? Like, but people liked him. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
people liked them. And then you know what I'm saying? And people gravitated towards that. And then come to find out years later, after he's grown and matured and developed his music style, it's just like he's one of the most acclaimed artists in the world.
Yeah.
Just do you and be authentic and let your people
Yes.
see you. They will see you.
Yes, there are so many fake people online who actually is themselves. And those are the people I connect with the most. The people, who aren't doing it for the views, the likes, and the aesthetics. And that's something that drives me crazy is garden aesthetics because baby,
Yeah,
nobody's garden looks like that 247. I can tell you that right now.
yeah.
And people, my audience, they love my setup, they love my garden, and I'm all like, I show it all. Hey, it's a big old dumpster right in the middle of here. I got a pile of compost right there. Tomato leaves are all over the place. The storm that knocked my corn over. And guess what? I'm still gonna do my garden tour on time. Y'all gonna see it all. This is just what it is
I've
because
seen
my garden is not
I've seen
perfect.
videos. Yeah.
you know. We
Yeah,
definitely need more authentic people online, and they will come. They will come.
yeah, yeah. They're out there. They're out there. It's just a matter of finding the tribe that attracts you for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure. So only one last question
Mhm.
before we get out of here. I don't want to go too much over. It's a great conversation. I could keep doing this if I'm being honest with you. But like, would you like to share some of the lessons that you learned just in your journey doing gardening and content creation? Just what have you learned from it? Like, what are some of your biggest takeaways from going on this journey?
Um, Failure is necessary. It's a necessary stepping stone for success.
Ooh,
If you don't fail, you ain't doing it right. I'm just telling you that right now. If it's perfect, it's wrong. It is what it is. And I said what I said. Like, you have to fail in order to get better. And when it comes to gardening, you are going to kill a lot of plants. So go ahead, don't get attached to them. It's going to die. You can do everything you can for that plant, and something is going to go wrong. Something.
yeah.
Especially if you're a first time gardener and even experienced gardeners. Like, you're going to fail, and that's okay. But if you do not embrace that failure and you don't learn from it, you know, you're never going to get to where you're comfortable taking off in the garden. You have to kill a lot of plants in order to garden right.
Yes. Yes. I love that. I love that advice, and I'm gonna do what I do and relate that back to life. And relate that to life because very true concept. Very, 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 very true concept. I've done an episode with a girl named Kiera, and she was running
Mhm.
for Miss Missouri, and the her
Oh.
episode literally about fearlessness. Fearlessness. It's called Crowned in Courage. So if y'all ain't heard it, go listen to it. But we literally talk about there is no such thing as failure. That's
Mm.
how I feel. There is no such thing as failure. Failure is an illusion. And it actually
Mhm.
follows up to itself because she did another episode after that where we talk about the rewards that you reap from trying and fail.
Mhm.
You know what
Yes.
I'm saying?
Yes.
Because there's no such thing as failure. You have to try and fail to learn, to try again, to show the growth.
Yes. Facts.
So you just have to keep going. You know what I'm saying? There's no
Yeah,
real such thing as failure. It's just another lesson learned. So if
it
you
is.
kill that plant, you learn how to probably not kill it the next time. And even if you don't
Yes.
learn how to not kill it the next time, you don't learn something else that's gonna help a different plant or something else along the way. And before you know it, you're a master. But the
You
only way
will.
to master something is by trying and failing.
Yes, and that's the only way you can learn, especially when it comes to gardening, self-sufficiency, and things like that. If you want to get into this lifestyle, you have to fail forward. There is no other way around it.
Period.
I mean, all the YouTube videos in the world, TikTok videos, you can study this stuff up and down, but until you get out there and kill that plant, you'll never be successful.
Yeah. Like that and that's what's so funny. It's just like I wish we could train our brains and we can. There's no wish actually. This is actually totally something that you could do. But I wish people would take a picture of that thing that failed. Right?
Mhm.
Like take a picture of that dead. I got a dead lily sitting right next to me right now. But like that's just because it done bloom. But like take a picture of
Yeah,
that thing. Take a picture of that thing that failed. Take a
yeah,
picture so that when you keep going and you become successful at it, you can look at that picture and remember that's where you started. Don't remember how
exactly.
you failed. Remember where you came from.
Exactly. Exactly. Facts.
Man, 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 man. What an awesome conversation. What an awesome conversation.
Yes, it was epic.
Yes, I want to thank you again for coming on to the show. Y'all, if y'all like this episode, definitely make sure you give it a like, comment, share, subscribe. If you got any thoughts on it, tell us what your thoughts on the food. Tell us your thoughts on the episode. And I got a question for y'all to go ahead and drop in the comments. Like, do you live in a food desert? Did you know what a food desert was before this episode? If you are, what area are you in? Let's try, and you know what I'm saying? Do you know of any what is it, farmers markets in your area? Let's talk
Yep.
about it. Get a conversation started about if we really know the resources that we have in our areas, because we might be able to find some. Um,
Yes, for sure. And don't look at the media as if the world is coming to an end, or there's not going to be any more food, or there's going to be shortages. No, there is a way. There is a way. You just have to get to it.
yep,
And buying local, buying small is the way to go,
yeah,
for
yeah,
sure.
for sure. Like that should be the first option, not the last option.
Exactly. Support those small businesses, those small farmers, those local farmers and local growers. Like, support them.
Yeah, because they need you and you need them. If you didn't know,
Exactly.
if you
Get you
did,
some real produce.
for sure. Did you want to let the people know where to find you on social media?
Yes. So you guys can find me on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at the dot urban sunflower. That's my handle across those three platforms. You guys can find me there. And I
Shop.
do respond and follow back. I do like and all of that. I am your internet bestie. So, if you have a social media page that needs attention, or you want me to look at some videos and interact with you online, I am that girl. I can do that for you because I'm going to cheer you on.
Shout out to that. We need more of that energy because there's so many
Yes.
look and scroll.
Yeah. And it's so easy to just scroll. Like, just like the video, you're already looking at it. And especially on YouTube, because I do watch YouTube on my TV, they do not make it easy for you to like videos.
Nah,
So, I definitely, when I'm at work, I try to look at the videos there and like and comment and stuff from my phone because it's so much easier.
yeah. I definitely have found myself liking and sharing people's posts more often because man, like, you know what I'm saying? It's so underrated. It's so
Yeah,
underrated. Such a simple thing to do and it helps people a lot. And it's just like,
it does.
like if I want people to like and share my stuff, like I gotta like, you know what I'm saying? It's not that hard. Like I can't be the one sitting up here scrolling and rocking past your stuff and then you know what I'm saying, want people to like my stuff. It just doesn't make sense, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, that interaction is what really helps both parties' content grow.
yeah,
So, yeah.
yeah, yeah. Yep. And on that note, you can also find me at Marissa Y17 on Instagram, Marissa the Thinker on Facebook and YouTube, and then Thinker versus Speaker on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at Thinker versus Speaker. Chanel, did you have anything else for the people before we got out of here?
Um, no, not that I can think of. If you guys need help finding local resources and vendors, definitely if you follow me on my socials, send me a DM and I will help you, especially if you live locally in St. Louis. I have a ton of resources I can share with you. Even if you want to get started with gardening and stuff like that, I will guide you. Free, no charge. Just if you need help, I will help guide you.
Yo, that's awesome. That's awesome. Forgive me for taking full advantage of this moment right now, but have you heard of the Emerging Business Leaders Expo that they're about to do this year in St. Louis?
No, I haven't.
Ooh, okay. So one of my guests is happening November 4th
Hmm.
um in St. Louis. It's called the Emerging Business Leaders Expo, and they are actually looking for small businesses and vendors. It's going to be a uh entrepreneur, it's going to be a business and a health expo for our
Oh,
community.
wow.
Yeah, so check definitely it's going to be this week's episode that's coming out on Friday. And
Hmm.
Trey, who is one of the people that's on the board, is actually going to be talking more about it and how people can get involved. So if you know people that are interested and they want to get into the expo and vend those things, like I said, it's going to be about small businesses and health.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, and they're still taking on vendors right now. I'll send you their contact information personally when it's over. But if
Okay.
it's other people that want to get involved, it's the Emerging Business Leader Expo. Check out Trey's episode that comes out right before this one. So if y'all listening to this episode right now, check out that first episode. It's gonna get the episode right before this. It's gonna give you all of the information that you need about how to get involved. Like I said, if you want to be a vendor, it's only like $75 to be a vendor, and you get access to all of their seminars and stuff that they doing. So I
Oh,
think it's
wow. That's awesome.
yeah, it's definitely gonna be a good opportunity to, you know what I'm saying, help push those small businesses and those farmers and get y'all out there.
Awesome. That's
Yeah,
what's up.
yeah. I'm glad I was able to squeeze that in there because I've been meaning to tell you that. I've been meaning to tell you that, but now I get to tell you on the show and also tell it at work. So there
Yeah,
we go.
I'm definitely gonna check that out.
Yeah, I'll be there for sure because I want to talk to all of like a lot of the people that I actually talk to on the show are actually going to be a part of the expo. So
Sweet.
I'm gonna be there, working the room, talking and interviewing all the people. So you know what I'm saying? Y'all already know where to find me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's gonna be a great time. It's definitely gonna be a great time.
Nice.
Yeah, but on that note, I'm not gonna take up too much more of your evening. I appreciate you for coming on to the show. And like I said, I'm really grateful for the conversation. I really had a fun time here, and I hope y'all
Thank
enjoyed it.
you. Thank you. I had a great time too. Thank you for having me. And
Not
thank y'all for listening and checking out this episode.
For sure, for sure. Literally anytime. If you ever want to come back, look, tap in. You more than welcome to come back anytime.
Nice. I
Uh,
definitely want to come back.
Yeah, we'll make
We
it
got to
happen.
have that nurse conversation. I'm
Yep,
going to talk to some of those aspiring nurses out there.
exactly. We'll switch gears and then we'll get it cracking.
All right.
All right. Have a
All
good
right.
evening.
Thank you. You too.
All right, bye.
Bye.